is Sarah Williams and I'm the editor of Who Do You Think You Are magazine, and today we're going to be looking at some of these great DNA tests that are on the market to help you choose the right one for you. DNA tests have really transformed family history since I've been working in the industry, and they will tell you two things. They will give you an ethnicity estimate, that's what we tend to call it, which is the thing that tells you you're 20% Scottish or you're 15% Italian, and that's what a lot of people take their test for. That's what they want to find out. I should point out it is just an estimate, so you can't necessarily trust these things, and they get updated all the time. So you may find you think you're 20% Scottish, and then in a year's time you'll receive an update that tells you you're only 5% Scottish. So, you know, they are getting better and they are improving, and they're all different, as I will show as I talk you through the different tests. The other thing that they do is they put your results into a database, and that helps you match with other people who have also taken the test, and that can be a great way to break down brick walls and discover new members of your family. So the size of the database and the quality and the kind of database they have is also very important. So I'm going to start first of all with Ancestry DNA here. They're probably the market leaders for family historians in the UK, because they have by far and away the largest DNA database. So they are great for cousin matches. They also don't let you upload any tests that you've taken with another company into their database. So if you want to benefit from their vast database, you have to take an Ancestry DNA test. So the other kit I'm looking at here is Living DNA. They're a British company. If you buy your test through Find My Past, you will actually get the same kit, so they work in conjunction with each other, so that's the same test. Living DNA is probably the best company for giving you a really sort of granular ethnicity estimate for the UK. So they're the only company that picked up on my deep East Anglian roots, for example. So they're really good for regional breakdown of your UK ethnicity and background. The other thing they do is they test your Y-DNA and mtDNA, so maternal and paternal lines, and that can give you some sort of ancient DNA information, which is quite interesting. They've just brought out a Viking upgrade, so for £20 extra you can find out if you are descended from Vikings, which I know will appeal to lots of people. Next up, we've got 23andMe. So they're a US company. They've got a big US database. They have a lot of health and well-being upgrades that you can add onto your test. But for your basic autosomal test, well, they also do MT and Y-DNA built into that. They give you some traits, so you can find out if you're more likely to be scared of heights, or if you are more likely to dislike coriander, all sorts of funny little things like that they add, which is quite interesting. They also tell you how much Neanderthal DNA you've inherited. So I found out I've got more Neanderthal than 10% of their users. I'm not sure what information I can get from that. I will also say 23andMe was the only company that managed to spot my recent Jamaican family, so I was quite pleased with that. This is MyHeritage DNA. They've been growing a lot recently, and they often do some great deals on their website, so I would keep an eye if you want a cheap deal. They're often very good for that. They have a lot of European customers, I found, that I wouldn't find in the databases elsewhere, so they've got a very interesting database, and US, and they've got some really wonderful DNA tools on their website. So if you want to dig deeper and look at where that inheritance comes from, they're very good at that. And then finally, this is the oldest company out of this lot, FamilyTreeDNA, and they are really most well known actually in the family history world for their Y-DNA test. It can only be taken by men, but really good for finding out paternal lines going back a long way, so great for one-name studies. And actually I've used it myself to connect with a paternal ancestor, so very useful. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this video has helped. We've got lots more guides on our website, so do come and visit us on whodothinkyouremagazine.com. And just one final word of warning, do keep in mind that if you do take a DNA test, you must be prepared. Some people do get unexpected results. But on the whole, I've found it to be a really positive experience, and I've uncovered so much interesting stuff, and I hope you will too. Thank you.